Drew Brees is gone. So
Yeah, man.
we got to fill the quarterback spot in the team. And I don't think anyone really knows for sure yet who it's going to be. I think everyone has the guy they want in there.
Yeah.
I want Jameis.
Yeah.
I think Jameis is just the better option for all fantasy players in this offense, and I'll make the argument later why. Who do you want?
So I here's where I get confused is if Jameis was going to be the starter this year, why did Taysom Hill start last year? And if it was Taysom Hill started last year because we want to see what he is last year, that's fine. That's totally fine. And what he was is,
I mean,
he was relevant.
You could use the argument he's been on the team longer. He knows the offense better. He really only started 4 games.
Yeah, but he played decently well in those 4 games, and he gives you a lot of rushing.
A little bit, yeah, he played better than I thought he would. But yeah, it was mostly rushing. His passing is still not good.
Yeah, when he was in, Alvin Kamara took a huge dip.
They all did. So yeah, we could just we'll just dig into that as we're going through.
Yeah. So for me, if I'm looking,
I mean, if you're a Taysom Hill owner in like a dynasty league or a redraft and he gets to start, you want him to be the starter, obviously.
Right.
But if you have a Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara,
you want Jameis,
Traquan Smith, Adam Trotman, you want Jameis in there.
Yeah. So I think for me, as far as fantasy goes, I'd rather have Jameis for sure.
I mean, don't forget, the last time we saw Jameis as a starter for a whole season, he finished 5th overall at the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
Dude puts up fantasy points.
Yeah, he had so Jameis Winston will win you just as many weeks as he's probably going to lose you because that's just how he is.
You mean like in the NFL?
No, I mean like in fantasy. No, because like if you looked at his consistency chart, there's a lot of weeks where he was like top 2, top 3, top 4, and then there's some weeks where he was just nowhere near.
Yeah.
But that's just what you get with Jameis. You get 5,000 passing yards, which is what I think he had in 2019. You 32 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, little bit of rushing sprinkled in there.
Yeah, 250 rushing yards added in there.
And I think a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, but I mean, not many quarterbacks can give you 45-point weeks, 41-point weeks. So
right. But here's the difference: is he's now on a team where he doesn't have to do what he was doing in Tampa because he has a defense that's good. So will he be back to having to throw for 5,000 yards? I don't think so. So I do not think he's going to look at. He's not going to look the same as 2019.
I mean, 5,000 yards is a rare thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think Stafford's only done it a few times.
He might not actually have ever done it.
Really? He had to have done it at least once. But point being is, I don't think this is going to be the same Jameis Winston, hopefully, that we saw in Tampa. I hope he's gotten a lot better underneath the tutelage of Drew Brees.
He's done it once and came about 30 yards away from it another time. 2011 and 12.
That's big years.
Been around for a long
Calvin
time.
Johnson years. So anyways, so that's just my thing with Jameis. I think long term, I wouldn't, honestly, I don't want either one of these quarterbacks on my team. But that's just me.
Fantasy, I'm cool with Jameis.
Yeah.
I've always been cool with Jameis.
Fantasy wise, Jameis is fine. I'm just saying NFL wise, I wouldn't be thrilled to really have either one.
Well, they also have Trevor Siemian.
No,
That interest you at all?
No. I'm honestly surprised they didn't draft anybody. But I think which makes me think that they're gonna take a run with Jameis and see what happens.
I hope so. I hope it is Jameis.
Yep.
So moving down to wide receivers, we had a rough year. If you were the guy who took Michael Thomas first round last year,
yeah, no kidding.
sorry, that did not help your team at all. He played 7 games last year. In those games he played, he was 48th in points per game, 9.1. With Taysom Hill, it honestly wasn't. It was better. 25th in points per game at 12.3 points. But that he played over half the games he did play last year with
Taysom.
Taysom.
Yeah. But even when Drew Brees came back, they didn't look comfortable.
Yeah, and he didn't look. Michael Thomas, you could tell he was still hurt, and
Yeah,
he
he
kind
didn't
of.
look
There
right.
were reports after the season that Michael Thomas did because everyone knew it was Brees' last year. Try and come back and support him. Traquan Smith. If Jameis is there, maybe it could finally happen for Traquan Smith. Taysom, I'm not looking at the supporting cast if Taysom's in there. I just don't think he can do it. And Traquan Smith has never done anything in the league. There's always kind of been hype around him, like maybe this is the year. Maybe this is the year for Traquan. Last year in 14 games, he saw 50 targets He ended up being the 69th overall wide receiver.
Yeah, he's really frustrating because
And that's without Michael Thomas for over half the season.
Yeah, because I really liked him coming out of Central Florida, and I thought he had a ton of upside. It's just not really worked out. Like, you look at this season last year. I mean, he had maybe 2 weeks. He had 2 weeks where he would have been, looks like a back end wide receiver 3. And the rest of them were, I'm not touching him at all.
Yep.
In the hundreds or whatever. And he's just inconsistent. I mean, he's never been a force to be reckoned with in this offense. No. But I also feel like Drew Brees and Michael Thomas for so long, it was just, I mean, because Emmanuel Sanders is a good, in my opinion, he's a good wide receiver.
He was there last year.
And he wasn't even anything special.
No.
So for so long, it was Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, and that was it.
I mean, we all knew as Brees got older in those past few years, like he became more limited of a quarterback. Like you just can't avoid that. And yeah, he did hyper target Michael Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
But now going in there without Brees, Emmanuel Sanders is gone. We're going to have to fill some of these spots in the wide receiver core. It looks like Traquan will just be in the slot for him, Michael Thomas on the outside. So we're looking for another outside receiver to step up in this offense. And I think there's 2 choices. There's Deontay Harris, who last year played 9 games, saw 25 targets, and the guy who was a rookie last year, Marquez Callaway, who had some moments last year, played 11 games, saw 27 targets. So really both of them never saw any kind of consistent playing time out on the field. If I had to take my shot on one of them, though, it would be Marquez Callaway.
Yeah, that's where I would look as well. I don't know why. I just kind of feel like his game, I just like his game a little bit better. But he's a little quick guy, and I don't know. To me, I'm really trying to figure out what Jameis is going to be in this offense. I don't really want to know what this offense is going to look like that much without Drew Brees. I know Jameis kind of spreads the ball around a little bit more. I think this is going to be a feel it out year for this offense. Michael Thomas was the number 1 in 2019, was hurt, off and on in 2020. Will he be healthy and be back to his normal?
He's not going to be
points.
Anything close to that. He'll probably be more to what he was before that season. Just a wide receiver 1, back end wide receiver 1, that area.
Yeah, because what was he in 2018? 6.
He was mostly.
I mean, he's always like what, top 10?
Yeah.
So no worries there, but yeah, it's just going to be interesting to kind of see what this offense is really going to look like moving forward, at least at the wide receiver position. But I do like Marquez Callaway is where I would take my shot.
Yeah.
And honestly, to me, if you look at Deontay Harris, Marquez, and Traquan, in my opinion, all 3 should be fighting for that number 2 slot.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's not like Traquan's not really solidified that.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree with you.
Any of these guys could come out and really make it happen. So I'm curious to know what you guys would think on these wide receivers as well.
Yeah.
So
thank you so much for watching the Fantasy Monsters on YouTube. If you liked our video today, please subscribe to our channel. Hit the little bell icon. Get notified whenever we go live or post other videos. You can see the link below. You can click on previous videos. You can also leave comments below. We'd love to hear from you guys as well. And we'll catch you next week.
Have a go.